hurt. Obviously, that sucks, and we're going to try our best to remedy that. I saw Flom also make a tweet yesterday saying that they had a really important conversation where they'd ironed out a lot of the kinks. So let's see, has it paid out for them?
Yeah, the map pick of obviously being theirs, Dust2, a map. One of the last times you're going to be seeing Dust2, where you can actually peer down through suicide vents. It's an end of an era. 20 years, this has been unchanged. And finally, Valve have, I want to say, fixed it, but I don't know. Anyway, it's going to be an early deal towards mid. XNS getting the kill, but a quick trade by Sluggy. A player who, as pointed out by J-Dubs, he's someone I have been keeping an eye out on as well. So I'd love to see him pop off here. If they get taken down, this is of course going to be an elimination game. Loser will be going home. Maluk still duking it out towards mid. I'm not a huge fan of this because he's all by his lonesome and he's going to be hunted down by J-Dubs. Punished as PRT trying to reply back, but Jojo with a perfectly timed flank from upper tunnels is going to get the kill. And suddenly the tables have turned. It's a 2v3. Bomb's going to be planted. As CTs, they do have a kit and a smoke and a flashbang. But the B bomb set and Dust2, one of the hardest maps to retake. But Mob's going to catch Jojo just jumping across. What was he up to?
Yeah, of the players you don't want to give a second chance is Mobs. He is in such fine form right now, and now he's last man, but Lex with 2 big headshots. And yesterday, to be fair to Lex, he was one of the standout players. He had a couple of very big moments on Nuke, was performing well. And if you can have another big performance like that, maybe alongside Sluggy and some of the rest of the team, there are ways back in. But for a moment, I thought Jojo had not necessarily thrown that round away, but it at least made that scrappier than it needed to be. But Mythic, they make the most of their advantages, and they do take the first round.
Jojo scares me. He's got the P90 out against Vince. He got that 4K. Hey! Good night, sweet prince. Maluk decapitates Flom. Just wide swinging with the scout. And XNS is getting very adventurous as well. Sluggy will be found. That's the bomb, Vince. Now, is Lex expecting this? He has no idea. Lex has no idea. And XNS with 2 kills. And Jojo has to do everything with his trusty P90. Now it's a 2v3. He's spotted out XNS. But that scout at that range could easily tag these players up. But he's down to 4 HP. And he decides he's going to give up control of the C4. Which, in my opinion, is the right call. Now, they will retain control of the C4, but they are paranoid, Vince, because they have no information where the remaining CTs are. They newly spotted XNS towards T-spawn. They can correctly assume that it's fallen back towards tunnels, but where are the other 2 remaining players? It's Maluk and PRT, who have so far been untouched, and they have their weapons in the form of the Deagle and the Scout to work with.
They're doing laps of the map as well. Now XNS back towards middle, but gets finished off by J-Dubs, whereas the P90 won't be doing much damage at that range. It's now been traded up to the AK. There's 2 of them back to back. Additionally, they have enough utility in the hands of Jojo to feasibly pass, but Maluk will have that first shot before anyone can pile out of long. It's a slow peek while crouched. Easy pickings for the side of TeamOne. 20 seconds to play with. Great shot from J-Dubs. He's here to make statements. 3 kills already to his name, full HP remaining. Realizing additionally that no one was on the CT side, but now PRT has given his position away. No time to re-peek, has to go in for the full plant. J-Dubs trying to play and dance around the boxes. See if he can get this spray, but there's PRT as the Brazilian just takes off the head, and TeamOne instantly bounce back with a force buy.
Oh, that's rough, Vince. After a great pistol round, especially with Lex popping off, they just get hammered down. Maluk opening it up with the scout. He gets 2 kills there. And then, of course, that was all the Deagle, right? Just pushing up towards top mid. As we see the shot, that's just complete filth. That's just absolute filth. And PRT clutches it out clinically with the AK-47. XNS made that happen, though. And I believe he played it perfectly, right? He gets the first kill, walks with suicide. And yeah, Lex just not aware of the possibility that a player might have pushed up all the way towards T-spawn. He doesn't continue duking it out either towards mid. He falls on back. And even though eventually he falls, just maintaining that player advantage and having all that information was all that TeamOne needed. Now from Mythic, the force buy is going to be coming on in. Flom Never mind, Lex is going to get the kill with the MAC-10. So PRT has a lot of work to do. He's going to find one. He does have backup in the form of Pesadelo on the side. Or Pesadeo, I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, to be very honest. But PRT is going to find one, looking for the second kill. Trapped in the corner, running out of bullets, but he's got his teammate nearby to back him up. And it's going to be a 3K for PRT, ably helped out by his teammate.
Great crossfire established there for TeamOne. After a lightning fast hit through middle, I mean, maybe this is one of the things that Mythic were thinking about, that like maybe they don't have the deepest strat book, maybe they don't have the best sort of masterful plays when it comes to strategy, but what they can do is run and gun. What they can do is make it a bit of a scrappy affair, play more of that pug mentality. They obviously have some key aimers on their team, that much is for sure. So maybe that's where Dust2 could start to lend itself towards that Mythic mentality. However, Lex already destroyed early on, down to 2 HP. And a good grenade banking off the wall, just shreds with shrapnel. Mob slightly off with the spray, but here comes XNS to line them up and spray him down as the dominoes are put into position. A quick fire 3-1 for the Brazilians.
It's a bit of an eco cobra round, Vince, but that's a nice spray. Even against a Byron, that was a really, really clean spray coming out from XNS. There we take a look at it again. Ah, just beautiful stuff. Even the final kill being a headshot as well. So, wasting no time. Just the one casualty for TeamOne, that anti-eco. The side of Mythic, though, no AWPs out. They don't have the money yet. And Malyuk able to land the leg shot onto Sluggy. It's going to be falling back to a much more safer position as well. Mythic. It was proper full buy round for them. Jojo's going to be tagged down a little bit, but look at the aggression, Vince. Jojo finds Pesadeo, that's huge. And Malyuk replies back, taking on Jojo, ensuring control of mid will not be lost. And look at how mobile the CTs are. I love this coming out from TeamOne. I know it's still very early days, but they keep on moving, flowing around the map, not just playing a static angle. The nade's going to be tossed in and it's going to be dealing a little bit more damage onto Lex. And the smoke fades, they're going to be having to contend against the two CTs also. Still there, lying in wait on towards the short area. Flashbang a little too early though. Alex won't find anyone, but he will immediately spin around and find J-Dubs. And it's going to leave Sluggy alone. He was tagged on a 16 HP at the very beginning of the round and has got to do everything by his lonesome, Vince. In a 1 versus 3, it's looking unlikely.
Yeah, the bomb down in an awkward position, 16 HP to his name and no utility for the cross either. And even if he does manage to make a move across, getting onto the bomb and escaping is an entirely different fate altogether. And well, he won't even find out if he can get it done. Fragged from across the map. 4-1, a Mythic being brought down into the depths where TeamOne thrive. If the Mythic want to get scrappy, TeamOne have no problems getting up close and personal.
For sure, Vince. And I do worry for Mythic, man. Like yesterday against BNB, I know, like he's pointed out, I saw the tweet from Flom as well that have had their chats. They know they made quite a few number of mistakes and they've managed to fix it. But I do feel like if things do spiral out of control, there was a lack of like resilience coming out from them yesterday. Like when things were spiraling out of control, it felt like everyone was just playing their own game. Sure, they're having a bit of fun, but having fun doesn't necessarily win you games. Right now, this is a must-win game, and a must-win map at the very least. Malyuk is so very fast with an AWP. He's gonna clothesline J-Dubs, follow-up nade as well. Won't really find anyone. But they're playing this one safe. They know it's just the pistols. Because of that, it's a much more static hold coming out from the CTs. Playing the range, playing the rifles against the pistols.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? If you're in a position where you're playing in a tournament like this, you've got to be a competitor. These guys want to win first and foremost. Yes, having fun and a stream team, a team that's about content is one thing, but you still want to get W's. You don't want to get hammered in your first game. You don't want to be negeved down and Zeused and all that kind of stuff. So I really need to see a declaration of intent here from Mythic today. Some beautiful spray from XNS, who finishes off with the sidearm. Sure, that was effectively just pistol round by Mythic. Now they're going to have a full-on buy with Flom picking up the AWP. But yeah, I want to see what Mythic have. Do they have that resolve, that tenacity? They don't necessarily have to win this game. Not many people will give them much of a hope, in all honesty. But as long as they can make a couple of the maps close and actually have like a passage of play where people begin to believe in them, I think that'll be good enough.
yeah, like they are the underdogs, or the massive underdogs, and everyone likes an American underdog story. Flom got the spawn, but doesn't land the shot onto Malbs, who just jumps on across. Exodus already 12-2, Vince. Albeit, you know, 8 of the kills came in these on those eco rounds from Mythic, but still some very, very clean rifle work coming out from the young man. Now, second buy from Mythic. What can they do? Got the open hand to Flom. It's a glass cannon. He's naked apart from that big gun of his. Looking to open something up. Sluggy's going to be playing the late flank towards long. Mythic playing a much more safer passive angle. He's got back and form his teammate right next to him. PRT, though, catches Jojo trying to be cheeky and sneaky towards B. The Incendiary is going to keep the T's at bay. Now, they still have a lot of time to work with, but they're not really getting much control of any part of the map.
Yeah, that was a good point. They're getting the usual hotspots like Catwalk and through on T side of long, but we're not really seeing them draw out too many grenades. You still have tons of flashes left and a HE, and a lot of them have just been tossed out. The flash is perfect for Maluk, and Malbs follows up with a frag onto Sluggy. You consider that 3 of the players of Mythic are only on 3 frags still as they're being put down once again. This is looking like a clear, concise, comfortable round before Lex comes in with 2. Again, he is the man that is trying desperately to get Mythic out of this hole that they're currently in, but he can't do it alone.
He can't do it alone, Vince. He's the veteran alongside Flom. And it's players like J-Dubs, players like Sluggy and Jojo that you have to look to kind of deliver when it comes to the fragging department. But so far, it has been a very damp start for the side of Mythic on their map pick as well. And I fear for them heading into map number 2. So, like the Dust pointed out, you know, Mirage being a decider, there is a real opportunity. I love how patient Maluk was there. He didn't just go for the flick shot immediately. He's like, yeah, I'm just going to wait for the second player to walk on out. And he finds it, and Malbs is feeling it. That is something you don't want to see. He will finally fall. And it's again Lex who will have to do everything by himself. Unfortunately, 1 kill is all he'll find. 7-1 for TeamOne. And they're looking like they're in complete control, Vince. The money is looking fantastic as well for the majority of the players. An average of about $5,000 in 4 of them. PRT's on 10K, 8 rounds in. And yes, quite a few of those rounds have been, you know, eco rounds or pistols and whatnot, but even the rifle rounds have been just falling flat for Mythic. Something needs to change. Flom once more. Glass cannon. He's got the spawn. He's going to be duking it up with Maluk, but Maluk won't peek.
Won't peek until that flash connects first. They were anticipating that fast position could be in effect based off the spawns. So even when Mythic get the positions they want early, they're flashed out by perfectly placed utility. And then T1 fight it on their terms. Malbs does take a flash to the head, allows some of Mythic to come out, and it's Jojo that gets up the upper hand. One of the first times that Mythic have genuinely had an advantage, but they need to still post it home and stamp this in. They cannot allow this to slip.
Lot more work to do here. But yes, getting that opening pick is massive, especially on someone like Malbs. Now, they know where he was playing. They took him down towards long. Where are they going to be heading towards? If they go towards this, go for this mid to B play here, Vince, they could just get sandwiched. Look at Maluk being aggressive towards short as well. He could just drop in from behind. XNS going to be walking on out. He finds one, but Jojo with a great trade. Pasdeo inside of the site, able to find one. He knows there's going to be a player coming out from the tunnels, but he will fall, and it's all on Flom. The 1v1. He knows exactly where Pasdeo is. He knows he's been tagged down as well, but he has 30 seconds to work with. He's going to pick up the bomb. The timing is everything. He flicks, but he whiffs, and Pasdeo is going to clutch it out for his team. A massive 3K, and that felt like the best opportunity Mythic had in what feels like forever to get around, but they will be denied, Vince. What a hold coming out from the B-bomb side anchor.
Pastello played that one, honestly, about as well as he could have. And the aim punch at the end for Flom was just too much to contend with. Puts them into a scout, a couple Galils, a Deagle as well. And when you look at the kill difference between these two teams, it is vast. Flom, though, does pick up the first frag through middle before Malbs gets flashed in, but doesn't overextend. They have the kill back they were looking for. They're playing it patiently, but they get rushed down. Maluk throws in the Molotov. This could afford him safe passage, and Sluggy survives on 1 HP. Here comes the nade, though, and it chunks him back down. Mobs with the AWP can still stay in position, and XNS is taking the initiative to push around the back, but he checks his angles, and in doing so, gives up his side to J-Dubs. Another golden opportunity for Mythic. That shot looked like it could have hit. That one definitely did.
Okay, he's playing a very dangerous game here, Maluk. He's just standing out in the open, Vince. He's just daring them to peek. He's like, just go for it. Peek me. Fight me. And now, Mythic. The peek comes out, but they're ready and waiting, Vince. Finally, Maluk will fall. Just posturing there. I was like, all right, let's see what he got. And he will be punished for it. J-Dubs with a very crucial 2K. Now it's J-Dubs and Jojo against PRT. They're going to cross it over. And PRT is going to find one. There was a gap in the smoke. And the 1v1, J-Dubs bleeding out. And it's going to be PRT. He just needs a bullet on the shoulder. And is going to clutch it out again. Couple of these rounds coming down to the wire, Vince. But still, TeamOne come out on top. 9-1 the scoreline. And things are looking exceedingly grim for the side of Flom and his men.
That's the kind of shot that we won't see in the future after the changes to Dust2, courtesy of Valve. Flom's going to enjoy it while it still is in the game. And he's looking again, this time with the AWP. Smoke does afford safe passage. But I mean, you're on the money, Blair. These last couple rounds could very well have went the way of Mythic, but they've let them slip. However, some of those finances starting to get a little bit more weary on the CT side. Morbs trades out as XNS, the top fragger, is dealt with, and Morbs will not be afforded safe passage. J-Dubs denies that, denies his life, and Mythic, for their third consecutive round, have the advantage.
Oh, Flom's position. He could catch them when they go for the boost here, Vince. And there we go. Flom, easy pick. He knows exactly where Maluk is. Maluk trying to go for some jumping shots with the AWP, which is very, very optimistic. And the Molotov, it's going to be a little too late. It's a 4v2. This is the best chance. Make that a 1v4. PRT left alone. They should be the round, right? It should be the second round on board for Mythic. And finally, finding a bit of success here will be side of the NA team. PRT though, still looking for more. Now, they can still go for the buy. Lex drops to his death. Now it's a 1v2.
Why?
I don't know. He doesn't have any utility though. Bomb's not really planted for him either. The bomb's actually planted for long as well, so I still don't fancy his chances, Vince. And there we go. Flom's going to finish him off, but why? You said why. And I have to echo your sentiments. There was no need to feed him.
Especially when you consider like the economic situation now. Yes, Mythic can buy, and yes, TeamOne's economy is not great, but that's 2 extra bodies they just lost. That's now going to put 2 players down to $0. Flom's on $100. He's now lacking a bit of utility because he had to drop a weapon across to his teammates. And so if Mythic concede this, they're basically going to have absolutely nothing in their bank.
There's a PP Bison in the server.
It's so strange. We do have a Bison in the hands of Pasadillo, but it's Morbs that comes out with 2 kills. Maluk gets traded, the AWP's picked up, and the start that TeamOne were hoping for.
They've been finding so much success towards the, oh my lord, Malms, you madman. 2-3 kills for him. Looking for more, is he? But he's going to be scoping up in the wrong direction, and Sluggy will find him. Maybe a little bit too much forward aggression there from side of Malts, but they still have the player advantage. But the fact that they have a PP Bison, never mind, it's been upgraded by Pasadelo, which is, in my opinion, the right call. So yes, they have found themselves on the site, but all the CDs are right there. They can retake the moment the numbers get punched in. In fact, the moment the bomb's getting planted, they can just go in for the hit. And they're not even waiting for it, Vince. They're just going to become pouring on in. Sluggy, he's got to win these duels. He's left alone in a 1v3, and he will find nothing. TeamOne, they give around to Mythic, but they snatch it back. And now they have the double op setup to work with.
And now this is where we get into that territory I was just talking about. Because they lost those 2 extra players, have a look at their economy. Once this replay is over, I'm curious to see if they're going to go in for a buy. They will. But you've got a scout on Flom and 2 deagles for J-Dubs and Jojo. And when you're 10-2 behind, this is such a difficult position to be in. Yeah, they've got 3 players that could maybe squeak out a buy next round with some round loss bonus, but even then, it's not going to be ideal. You're hoping and praying that maybe you can take a few players down here early on and maybe somehow carve out a win, but you've already lost Lex to the hands of PRT. Tries to peek just before the smoke plumes, but is knocked down where he stands.
They have tried to switch it up, though, you know, heading towards the B side, where they have had a bit of success here. Pasadello playing a very close angle, but he does have backup in the form of his teammate XNS. The crossfire could be perfect. They're not going to smoke it off. Flashbang comes out. It's a great flash. And XNS helping his teammate out to get one, and they walk straight into the blender. It's all on J-Dubs. 1 versus 5. He's got the bomb. But how is he going to get it down, Vince?
That is the question, isn't it? If he's got a genie in a lamp somewhere, maybe that's the way back in. A few wishes to get used, but other than that, it's not looking that doable. He does at least have the bomb, as you said, and he's got a smoke. I'm being really optimistic even mentioning that, because the way TeamOne have been playing, I doubt he gets a single frag out of this round, and he does actually onto XNS through the double doors. It was 30 seconds and half of his HP being deemed forfeit. Even if he does get up onto catwalk, he has Maluk there waiting for him with the sniper rifle. Brilliant headshot. Take nothing away from J-Dubs. He's done about as well as he possibly could in this situation. Smoke down to try and afford him safe passage. Now being forced from behind, but nearly gets the frag onto Molbs. Seriously nice try from J-Dubs, but I mean, that was multiple bridges too far.
That's an NT if I've ever seen one. If he got that kill onto the player coming up short, it would have been a 1v2, and one of the players was kind of low as well. So, yeah, that 1v5, definitely there was a alternate reality where he pulls it off, but unfortunately, not in this one. It's 11 and 2. The buy going to be coming on in for Mythic. Small. A double op setup still in play. Maluk, that's risky, and he gets punished for it. Vince J-Dubs finds the kill, but just absolute filth. Plucks Jojo's head clean off his shoulders, and all he saw was his forehead.
Such an exquisite shot. Just a couple of taps, and the guy is so humble, but he has so much ability behind it. Make no mistake, he is the real deal, the man from Guatemala. And our PRT, one of the 4 Brazilians in the team, is peering down long with his AWP. Molbs behind the smoke. The man delivers again and again. PRT actually snatches the first frag away from him, but Molbs makes sure that he's not off the kill sheet for long. Lex falls elsewhere, and that leaves Flom on 6 HP, who goes in for seconds, and he'll be dished up. And TeamOne, they take a 12-2 lead. This has looked so straightforward.
This is just some flexing on Mythic, Vince. And look, I mean, I get it, you know, Mythic, we know who they are. They're more of a stream team. They play for fun, but they have qualified, right? They have managed to beat a lot of teams to make it over here, which is no small feat at all. But TeamOne just showing that they are just a step above. In fact, a couple of steps above this particular team. And heading into the final round, Scout, 3 AKs, a deagle in the hands of Jojo. Jojo is not even feeling like being up to his shenanigans here. You know, no Zeus out. Maluk's gonna find him as well, but that's just a deagle loss, though. They still have the AKs to work with. Pasadello taking the fight. He's been tagged quite badly to 46 points of health. The remaining members, J-Dubs finding Malbs. That's a huge kill. Now XNS has to be forced to go for a play. He's got to peek in towards Lex, and Lex reads it like a book. Gets the kill, but look at the re-aggression coming out from the seat. He's trying to regain back some control, but Pasadello will be found out. Another flashbang comes out. Maluk trying to go for the no-scope. Up close. It's going to be a fast scope. Actually, gets the kill. Now the 2v2. Bomb planted for long, but the retake is definitely on.
It is on. It is a bit one-dimensional, though. Both players up on catwalk, and considering they were both spotted in this very position just before through middle, it stands to reason for the 2 Mythic boys that they know exactly what's coming up. They're doing their due diligence, though. Lex is just checking down on the double doors. The bomb planted out in the open with a player in pit, but it is not the AWPer. Smoke gets put down. Maluk wants to go for the peak, and bodyguards to perfection on one player. It does take the shot for his teammate, but in doing so, affords them a 13-2 lead going into the second half. Mythic elected to pick Dust2 for themselves, and so far it seems like that may have been a mistake in hindsight. Hindsight, of course, always 2020, but TeamOne looking to try and douse out the flame of Mythic as soon as possible. And honestly, if they take this pistol, they're one giant step towards the finish line.
And everyone's just stepping up for the side of TeamOne, right? When it comes to just the pure individual prowess. And it's not just about individuality, just the 3D side, just a masterclass coming out from the T's. And look at this. This is doing the dance macabre, Vince. And on top of that, it's just going to be coming out on top, dealing death on towards the CTs. And it's one man left standing. It's Lex. He's tried his best multiple times in the previous half, but it's never really borne any much fruit. And yeah, just looking very grim. PRT's 13-4. And that's not even the most impressive number of kills they have, because XNX is 19, Malb's a 19 as well. It's just kind of ridiculous, just the sheer gap between these two teams. And that's a dangerous thing, right? You pick a map like Dust2 or let's say Mirage, and you're like, we're a pulk team, we can... Flom! Well, I mean, he landed one of his own earlier like that, right. Vince. So, yeah, I guess it just makes sense.
It's a taste of his own medicine. I think it was Maluk he killed with it as well. So, revenge is served cold.
But, yeah, just to finish my thought there, like, oh, nice shot from Lex, but Bomb across and over, and it's a 1v3, and there's a snake coming in behind him, and it's going to sink his teeth into him. That's going to be XNS. But when you pick a map like Dust2 or Mirage, and you're like, we're a puck team, you know, can just take the fight to them, play more loosey-goosey, you also realize that you are going to be facing off, the other team's going to be having the same feeling as well, and they're going to be like, we have the better individuals, we have the better coordination overall, so sure, you know, we won't be able to flex in it for deep tactical strat book on a map like Dust2 perhaps, but you can easily outduel them, and I feel that's what TeamOne's showing over here.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like, you know, we often talk with narratives and two teams that maybe evenly matched, like what are the keys to success for each team? And it felt like Mythic would have to hit some really, really high level of individual performance to come even close against TeamOne. And then you look at TeamOne individually speaking, they have some of the most impressive individual performances out of anybody at this entire tournament. Malbs is posting up some of the best stats in the world, period. Like, he's not on the levels of Simple or the Devices, etc., but he's not that far behind them. Yes, it's maybe against lower tier teams, but no disrespect to Mythic, that's kind of where they are compared to TeamOne. So it just never felt like there was really that much of a hope on a map like Dust2, and I don't think it's going to get any better. However, Sluggy is showing us that he is quite the Deagle player. However, he falls down, and TeamOne have the player advantage.
Bomb's still a bit of a distance away, Vince, so they have control of the site, but the C4 is across on Nova, and they do have a couple of flashbangs to do that, or he can just toss the C4 over. Or is he going to run across? Yeah, he's just going to run across. Unfortunately, the flick from Flom won't land. C4 getting planted. UMP and the scout in the hands of the two veterans of the team, Lex and Flom. See what they can do here. Looking unlikely though, Vince, and Malbs is not going to be wasting any time. He's still going to stick on around and the tap to finish off the map.